Welcome to this YWCA Hartford Region experience. Today we are excited to talk to you about this new and budding initiative called the 50/50 campaign. Your presenters for today will be myself, Melinda L. Johnson, Director of Community Engagement and Advocacy, and Shelby Williams, Community Organizing and Advocacy Coach. Hey there, Shelby.
Howdy, and I appreciate everyone being here today. Thank you again for your participation. Please take this moment to engage in a mental health pause. We not only appreciate your engagement, we appreciate your mental health. Feel free to take a deep breath. Thank you for pausing.
Thank you, Shelby. YWCA Hartford Region stands on its mission to eliminate racism, empower women, and promote peace, justice, freedom, and dignity for all. Community engagement and advocacy is one of the ways we fulfill our mission, equipping community members with the tools they need to create change, to become a community with unlimited opportunities, to unlimit opportunity. We serve residents of the Hartford region through programs, services, and initiatives, including early learning childcare and school age before and after school care, emergency and permanent supportive housing, youth leadership development, racial justice and gender equity initiatives, public policy and advocacy, financial literacy education, and much, much more. For more than 150 years, we have stood on our mission, participating in some of the largest movements within our society, including women's empowerment and civil rights, to affordable housing and pay equity, to violence prevention and healthcare. We continue our work empowering community members to use civic engagement as a means to dismantle systemic racism and gender inequity.
Thank you kindly, Melinda. The 50/50 campaign was inspired by the 2020 Secretary of State's report on gender and racial composition of Connecticut state boards and commissions. This report was used during the 2021 legislative session to justify the need to diversify representation on state boards and commissions. During the 2021 legislative session, the Connecticut General Assembly enacted Public Act number 21-35, declaring racism a public health crisis, and Public Act number 21-49, which set in action efforts to diversify state boards and commissions. YWCA Hartford Region was an active advocate for the passage of both laws and is spearheading the 50/50 campaign to galvanize a local response that deepens this work.
But before we tell you all the goodies about the 50/50 campaign and more about boards and commissions and their function, we want to take a moment to hear from you about your experiences and thoughts on how boards and commissions function in your municipality. To support the goals of the 50/50 campaign, YWCA Hartford Region is collecting demographic information and community input. So we ask that right now you take a moment to pause, take a look down in the YouTube description box where you will find a link for our pre-survey. Feel free to pause this video if you have not taken the survey already, and come back after you've had the opportunity to give us a little bit of feedback on your experience and your thoughts about boards and commissions in your municipality.
Welcome back. Thank you for participating in the 50/50 campaign demographic pre-survey. Let's discuss more about the 50/50 campaign purpose. The 50/50 campaign aims to educate and encourage community members to join municipal boards and commissions. The goal is to promote residents who identify as women and people of color to participate in decision-making processes which impact quality of life issues for all residents. The 50/50 campaign is designed to serve as a pipeline to representation in elected office.
So that's a lot to take in at once. So let's break it down a little further. The 50/50 campaign seeks to increase civic participation amongst marginalized communities and promote equitable racial and gender representation on municipal boards and commissions. So what does that look like? Well, 50% of our efforts is in partnership with Hartford region municipalities to make focused efforts to reform policies, processes, and practices to promote equitable racial and gender representation on municipal boards and commissions, especially those focusing on quality of life issues for all residents. And the other 50% of our work engages and educates community members on the roles, authority, and impact of boards and commissions on their community, while using community voice to inform municipalities of the community's perceived barriers to participation. In other words, we can't do this without you. We need you at the table. More concretely, when we look at this side-by-side comparison of the components, you'll see that on the one hand, this is what the municipal effort will look like. Municipalities are discovering barriers to recruitment, appointment, and retention of people of color and those who identify as women. They're strategizing to reduce barriers and improve accessibility of public information pertaining to boards and commissions, functions, and activities. And they're providing diversity, equity, and inclusion training for municipal leaders with appointment power.
To support the municipal efforts made to activate the goals of the 50/50 campaign, community engagement and education is provided to members of volunteer-based community organizations identified within each municipality of the Hartford region. Community members are encouraged to participate in the three-part presentation. Congratulations, you are already attending the first presentation where residents are informed of the goals and objectives of the 50/50 campaign. The second presentation is designed to educate community members on local boards and commissions and how they function. The last presentation is to inform community members how they can participate in their local boards and commissions and which positions are in need of being filled by you.
So one thing we are sure of is there are many myths about participation on local boards and commissions that can discourage people from participating. Let's debunk a few. Myth number one, you can only participate on a municipal board or commission if elected. Well, the fact is most municipal boards or commissions are comprised of appointed members or a combination of appointed and elected members.
Myth number two, you have to be a registered Democrat or Republican to participate on a local board or commission. Fact, members of boards and commissions usually, but not always, must be registered voters in their municipality. To ensure each resident is eligible to participate in their local boards and commissions, please do check eligibility requirements on your municipal website or city town hall webpage.
Myth number three, you can only participate on a municipal board or commission if you are a US citizen. Facts. Depending on your municipality, you can participate if you hold permanent resident status. So once again, it is very important that you check in with your municipality to find out what are the bylaws and what the charter states regarding board and commission participation.
That was fun.
It was. And debunking these myths and presenting these facts in combination with understanding the census reveals an opportunity to engage community members who are often overlooked when it comes to deciding who sits at the table. So Shelby, tell us a little bit more about the census.
Now that you know the facts, it's important that you know the need to increase diverse representation on local boards and commissions. Let's review the data. The 2020 census broad data indicates that there is a significant population of people of color and women within the three municipalities exampled here. Municipal investment to reform policies, practices, and processes to reduce barriers to participation in combination with community-based engagement in education, could extend opportunities for residents who identify as women or people of color to participate in local boards and commissions. The YWCA is working with municipalities and volunteer-based community organizations to maximize participation among those groups of people. The 2020 census data, when compared with these findings from the Secretary of State's report on gender and racial composition of Connecticut state boards and commissions, showcases the contrast between who is participating on state boards and commissions compared to the population they are representing. There is a huge gap here. There has been no report generated on the gaps of representation on boards and commissions at a municipal level in our state, but the 50/50 campaign seeks to prototype work that will unveil and potentially remedy this.
Thank you for pointing to those gaps, Shelby. At the time of her service, former Mayor Suzette DeBethan Brown was one of 2 female mayors in the state of Connecticut, and the first Black woman to serve in this office in her town. Her remarks and her testimony here really surmise the overall efforts of the 50/50 campaign. She said, "We are not being represented at the table. I believe we get overlooked. What I am going to do is extend your table so that it reflects the entire community."
Where do we go from here? We want you to support the inaugural cohort of the 50/50 campaign by participating in a 3-part educational session designed to encourage women and people of color to participate on local boards and commissions and share information with members of community organizations you are affiliated with to promote power and change in your municipality. Please refer to these next steps.
So if you have viewed this presentation and you have taken the pre-survey, we invite you to send any questions or feedback to Shelby Williams. Additionally, we have collected your email address and we will be sending you information regarding our next upcoming 2 presentations in your municipality. We look forward to pushing this work forward together, because together we can stand on the YWCA's mission to eliminate racism, empower women, and promote peace, justice, freedom, and dignity for all. Thank you for your support.